Blower is going and it is cranked down a little bit. I'm going to try it. I pulled off a piece at the far end here away from the blower, one section of the wiggle wire, so that outer panel is now inflated. It hasn't been for a few days. So what I'm going to cover it right now is what you see there is a good bed of coals. I don't want to get too close because the phone will overheat, but shoot that in there. 930 degrees bed of coals. Overheat. Okay, so it's more than what this thing will sense, and I think this goes to its 550 degrees centigrade. So it'll hit. This was supposed to be like 1050, but it did hit overheat. Should be able to get a reading on top of the stove though, with no problem. 500 degrees up there. 278. 222, and then up at the T, we've got 141. Very handy device here. Let's check my water tank. Hit the water tank. .200 degrees on the water tank. Should be about the same on the other one. .230, 240. Come back to that one. 230, 240. So this is on general stove procedure. I put a bunch of wood on it before we went to town to pick up a car, and been gone for 2-3 hours, probably maybe 4. It was about 6 when we left, I think. No, 5. It was about 5 o'clock when we left. It's 9 p.m. So yeah, 4 hours. If you're gonna leave a stove overnight, you can't just throw in wood and start a fire and expect it to hold. So you want to have a good bed of coals in there. Now I'm going to real quick put the phone down below my grate, and you'll see that there's virtually no ash in there whatsoever underneath. I think you can see that. That stainless steel screen holds all of the ashes above. What I did was I just pulled the whole screen out. There wasn't much on it, and I just sifted it out, left the coals on it, and restarted the fire. So now I'm going to stoke it with a bunch of wood. The wood will stay lit because that, like I said, that overheated, so we're pushing 1,000 degrees in there. It will fire the wood. I don't have any worry about that. I can cram that thing with wood, floor to ceiling, nose to tail, and it will burn the wood overnight. I'll damp it down. That damper will be about 3/4 to half, between 3/4 to half. Basically, you'll see it's in line this way. That's wide open. I'll have it about 3/4, just about set vertical. So it's going to damp it down. I will shut the damper down on the door. The door leaks a little bit, so it's not going to be damped down here. It's not an airtight stove. Never was meant to be, but it's a whole lot better than it was. There used to be a 3/8 inch gap here on the door side, which was just stupid. The pins were holding the door out on this side, and it was tight on that side. So now it's tight on this side, it's tight on that side, but there's still some leakage. I could put a flat tape around that someday and redesign it a little bit, tweak it, the depth on the holding device there on the handle. You can see that little flange there. That's what shuts it. When I crank this down, that cams it down against the inside of the door flange, the door thing. So I'm going to stoke it with wood now. and I'll do a quick shot of it, and that's going to be it for tonight. So basically this is on stove procedure on a regular stove. I'm going to get back to the rocket stove here pretty quick. That'll be my next project after I do the same thing on the south side that's done on the north side. I'm going to install channel and wiggle wire on the south side, because every time the wind blows, it's creating a flapping, almost like a check valve. It pulls out, slams in, pulls out, slams in, and that is blasting cold air in on the south side over there. So I'm going to fix that. There's a lot of the plants are getting yellowed a little bit, but oh well. A lot of them are doing great. I don't have my light on, so I'm going to pause it. I did get to town. I got a few supplies. I did not get any batteries, unfortunately. Tomato plants are not looking good. Drying up, overwatering, underwatering. We're pretty sure the mole is digging out under the roots and creating air pockets, and that's what really hurts them. But although those are also yellowing, so combination of things. Mole, they're surviving so far. The tomatoes look good themselves because that's where their life force is going, but a lot of the leaves do not look good. So that's a combination of shock from fluctuating from 45 degrees to 115 degrees, but a lot of the plants look really good. Squashes and sweet potatoes are doing good. So lettuce, of course, will do good. So anyway, I'm going to pause it, stoke up the stove, and call it good for the night. It's supposed to get down in the 20s supposedly, so and I don't want to come out here 5 times during the night, so I'm just going to cram that thing full. I'll do another shot when I'm done. And when I say crammed, I mean crammed. I stacked some pieces of hardwood oak flooring there at the bottom. Here is about a 1/2 inch piece of slab wood, and I'm going to see if I can get that in over the top, and I don't think it's going to happen. Nope. Alright, so that's about as full as it can go. Find my thinnest piece of bark. Bark with a little bit of wood on it, and see if I can get that in there. It's already starting to fire up, and it's going to smoke. Smoking inside. That's nothing but kindling. So, probably about it. Okay, there's a piece of oak flooring. I can get that in somewhere. No problemo. Another piece. I mean, I want this thing crammed. Now you notice from the heat, right there at the front, we're already burning there at the front from the coals that I raked out flat. And that's always a good idea. Rake your coals out flat so you can stack wood on the whole darn thing. This is going to go in one way or another. That's about as good as I can get. I don't want it to fall out of the thing when I open the door. So, with the smoke diverter not on there, it's smoking a little bit. So here we go. Close the door. That cam's down tight. Pull my little screw out of the jamper that doesn't work anymore. This should just be able to hold tight anywhere. I need to tighten that down a little bit. But that was just acting as a shim. So there's enough leakage on this side of the door. You can see flames a lot of times right there, and it'll fire up. In fact, I opened it back up. I'm going to let it burn just for a little while. So basically I have no doubt or concerns that that is not going to fire and remain burning all night long. But I'll give it a few minutes just to get it going. And I could check it with my thermometer gauge, my laser gun. give me an idea. And then, like I said, that will be damped down about like that. That's about 3/4. This would be full damp. Well, that would be half. And that's where I'm going to set it and leave it. But I'm going to leave it wide open for now. Again, the damper in there is at this angle. So it's full open because it can go, the smoke can go on that side and on this side. So when I turn it and shut it, watch, it'll start smoking. There's a hole there and there's smoke coming out here. So you don't want that. So if I turn it 3/4, that stops. It's damped down for the night. But I'm going to let it burn full bore for just a few minutes while I take a bit of a break. There's my ashes from the other day. I haven't gotten any more out. And there's my flat piece. So I got junk for the morning to throw in. And I'll bring another load in tonight or tomorrow. There's my partially melted, another casualty of the war. That was sitting on top of the rocket stove when I fired it up. That was not intelligent. I almost lost 2 of them in total. I did lose another one when I burned it, when the casing burned up over here. So anyway, that's it for that. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna shut the damper. On the top, 240, 200. That's at the up there at the T, 193. So, okay, 200 degrees on the pipe, 230. 227 tanks, 86, 86. Gonna 3. That's about halfway now. Like I said, like again, this would be full. That's gonna cause smoke to come out. So I'm gonna set it. What's basically vertical, but that's like a 3/4 damp, and that'll damp it down for the night. Slows down the burn, extends the, burn time of the wood. So, and I filled these earlier. You can see steam coming out there when I lift it. So if I left them open, of course it would evaporate the water a lot quicker. Those are to hold heat, and I prefer there to be water in them in order for it to do that. And if you run them dry, then they can warp them and damage them. So, like I said, they're not very big. It's only 4 gallons between the 2 of them, 2 a piece. Oh, piece of wood down there for the morning. All right. Leather carriers with good handles make nice, where I could just pick up a whole big bundle of wood in one hand and in both hands. But I've just been using a piece of wood here to stack wood on and carry it in. It's a 2-handed operation, and I can carry about half as much wood as I could if I had a firewood carrier, which I would like to get. So I'm just going to put this outside with my stack of firewood, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. 1 bag of Portland in there. 50 pounds per. There's my firewood. And I've got it stacked in between a barrel. And I've got, this is full, barrel's full, this bin is full. And I would like something a little bit heavier to put on that, but I don't think the wind's going to blow tonight. I could put a piece of steel on it. What am trusty. Which I can't pick up with one hand, so maybe I can. If I have gloves on. There we go. Redneck fire stack. Firewood stack. That's my Cinespheres, and that's holding it up on this side. Barrel's full, solid. This barrel's covered and has some wood in it off of my future rocket stove stash over here. The big pile of wood that I've shown you before. Alright, that's it. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. Get out of Babylon. Get out of the cities. Get out of the cities and get out of the cities. Good night.